Hi everyone. This is a discussion from a pre-discussion I had the other day about this ramp, this two-post lift. I can see a bit of an Achilles heel really, which it's not complex, but the pads that come with this, they're fantastic by the way, absolutely superb. Quality and everything, yeah. I've removed the pad, which is as I said, a soft rubber pad. Now, my problem is that pad is, well, let's have a measure. You don't have to guess. It's 4 3/4 inches, 120 mil diameter. Now, where I want to lift the car is on 4 corners of the outriggers. And the outriggers, if you don't know the TVR, it's tubular steel chassis or outriggers, a tubular steel, I don't know, inch and a quarter diameter, and they turn at a right angle, so you've two like that. And across that corner you've got a fillet of steel with a hole in it, and that's where it bolts to the bodywork of the car and holds the body on. So on 4 corners of that, I want to lift the car. I have done successfully, but it meant that this pad were having to balance on the tubes more, and I just didn't think it was stable, and it's very awkward because you've got to swing the arms out, then lay under the car because of these. This thing is touching the sill. The car's so low, so you've got to swing that under the car with the pad on, and then right underneath swing that out till it's touching the bodywork where you want to lift it. That's not ideal. It'd be lovely if I could just swing it out and say, yeah, that's in line, and lift. So we're back to these packing collars. So I've done some measuring, I've sat one of them in, I've taken the car down so it's not on the lift anymore, I haven't moved it, it's just there. And I've swung one of the arms in a bit, put one of these on, these adapters. Now this adapter is 50mm. I measured. Now the arms on that are like 2 big arms that narrow down. Well, they narrow down at the top with a big steel pin through, so it swivels. The first bit is quite thick, and then it thins out as it gets further down. That ain't a problem. So the arm where it swings out is going to be the thick part of it under the sill of the car, which, as we know again, TVR is fiberglass. The gap is about 45mm, the gap. So if I take that arm up 45mm, I'm hitting the body, not ideal. This collar's 50mm, so it should just about clear. But what I'd like to do is make some of those aluminium bungs I talked about. I'll dig it out again in a minute and put these bungs in here. Let's call it an interference fit, not silly tight that I can't ever knock them back out again. This idea with screw is great, but unfortunately I can't damage that. I can't start machining that off and making it fit into there, because and that in there like that is too tall. Is that? It's obviously that plate's no good. So let's push that to side, because that's definitely out of the question. Without making some real fancy big threads, which I've not really got a lot of experience of doing, I'm going to make these bungs, I'm going to make them too long. Well, not too long. I worked out they want to be 15mm protruding out of the body of this. So I'm going to make them so that they protrude 20mm out of this. I'll machine the hole in it and I'll do a test fit. If it turns out that it's too high to swing under the car, I will simply take it back out, put it back in the lathe and skim another 5mm off or whatever needs to come off. It's not people. Some people love to watch engineering projects. Probably no interest whatsoever in motorbikes, cars, push bikes, whatever, but that have got a big interest in engineering. Well, for those, I'm sorry, I do apologise in advance. However, there is an awful lot of people that watch my channel that do love motors and things, so can't lose, can't win. Okay guys, I'll come back in a bit and we'll get this sorted. I'm drilling the centre of the bar to literally put a centre in. That's enough. And we use this live centre. Take that chuck out. I'm not oiling the point, I'm oiling the bearing bit of it. So now if I put any pressure on there, it won't deflect. I need to turn that round, do that end. I'll have a job getting that lined up, but just that one a bit out, won't it? Let's see what happens. Oh, I wasn't far out after all that. Right, now what? I need to part off a length. Right, I've measured off 57mm to the edge of the cut-off blade and left a couple of millimetres spare for facing off afterwards, just for cleaning up. So I'm going to have a go at parting this off. I'm probably going to have to use some WD-40 on it. As I say, it's very gummy and it sticks like mad, does aluminium. That's the only trouble with this. The blade quite often falls out. It's only wedged in into a little slot, and they do fall out. And we'll put a chuck in. We'll take that to where that tip just starts, and we'll zero the DRO, and we'll go in 25mm. Last time I used this, I'm sure it spun. It kept spinning. In fact, it did. And I remember tapping it in here with the lead hammer, copper hammer. Just to not damage the point. Mainly for you guys that don't do engineering, but you're into cars. You see us making stuff. Somebody else in engineering seen all this before. Bang on 20. Not at 1,000, but it's 20. And rotate the compound. I don't know if this is going to get in where. What do you think, guys? Do I need to take any more out? I mean, obviously the more I take out, the less support I've got on this. I think we might leave it at that. I think that'll do it. Just clean that up. So I need to see if that is going to be too high. So if it is, I'll turn it round and take some off here. There's a lug on there, and I was going to cut it off or mill it off on milling machine, but there's no point because I'm destroying it then, aren't I? Whereas that is still what it is. and can be used for its intended purpose at some point. Right, a little bit more, guys. So I cut a piece off. Right, I had to cut a piece off. I cut that off, 10mm in total. So that being 25 is now down to 15. I cut 10 off, and that is great. And that goes under car, a bit of underseal on it there. That goes under car and locates on either the out rigger, the furthest out near the sill, or I can move it into the inner one and I can get it on at the front of the car. So I moved to the back and tried it. Now the back of the car is lower than the front. I'm still undecided here because the wheels on the back of the car are 16" and the wheels on the front of the car are 16". But according to all I've read everywhere else, the rear wheels are 16" and the front wheels are 15", which would make the car level, but they're not. The 16" front, the 16" rear. So there's probably a little bit of sag at back, maybe with age, I don't know. There's a bit of sag in me. So basically I cannot get these collars I cannot get with that on the arm under the car. It goes under, but it hits the studs sticking down, the bolts for the outriggers. So I'm going to take about 11mm off here, cut it off on 2 of them, and they'll be I'll mark them up somehow so that they'll always be for the rear wheels. If I want to take, you know, when I want to lift it, they'll go to the rear. And then this will need to be machined flush with that. So when I come down 10-11mm, I'll take 10 off and try it. If it needs another mil or two, I'll take more off. And then these 2 of these need making a lot shorter, so they finish flush with the new face, and that'll be fine. There we go, so that's 2 done. That's 2 made. Few marks from Joe's advice, but in this particular case it doesn't really matter. They really wanted wrapping with tin can, alloy tin can. So that's 2 down and 2 to go. Right, so this is the finished product. What we've made, these adapters, I just thought they're gonna fit and do what I wanted them to do. as opposed to using that, which when we get on the car I'll try and get a camera set up showing me putting these in, lining them up and lifting the car, making sure we've got clearance and that the arms don't hit the body. If they do, I'm going to have a rethink on it all. So first of all, the front ones, they're slightly bigger because I've machined off that amount off two of those back ones. So yeah, simple slug of aluminium, out of stock really. I must have had it a few years, and as I said earlier, I haven't got a clue what it was for. I buy metal for projects and sometimes I find another way around it, or somebody gives me something and it just gets put into stock or thrown on a shelf like that was. So I'm hoping that that will swing under the vehicle and lift without the arm hitting the body. So that's one. Two. And these are the cut down ones with the cut down slugs. They only stick up a couple of millimetres. I mean, these things are hollow, but I'd say extremely strong. Well, they're rated at 3 tonne, so 1.5, 750 kilograms each, I guess. Double that, 1.5 tonne for Lloyd's testing. So we've got ourselves possibly the solution that I wanted. I wasn't happy about these rubber pads pressing up against the floor of the car, which is only fiberglass, you know, and I didn't hear any cracking noises or anything like that. So I do suggest that most of the weight was supported on the actual chassis, but it's not ideal. Not ideal at all. Now if it had been a Vauxhall Corsa or, you know, a car with a monocoque, you've usually got a piece of chassis, and on a lot of cars now you jack on the sill, don't you, and the strengthen at front and at the back, they put a marker. Sometimes if they've got side skirts on, the little plastic cover comes off and you put your scissor jack or whatever type of jack you've got under there, and it actually presses on the sill, which when I first saw them like that I thought, oh my heck, that's pushing the sill some, but unbeknown to me is there's strengthened metal inside at those points to accept the weight of the car. The TVR doesn't have anything like that. It's got fiberglass sills. In fact, the doors form part of the sill. They wrap right underneath, which is another issue I've got, because being so low I can't open the doors without emitting those arms. But you know, you get over it. You've got to do, haven't you, because it's either that or you don't have one. Okay, I'll come back when we're in the garage and we've got some sort of camera set up. We'll try and work out how to get a camera low down, and we'll tripod that low. We'll see what I've got. Okay. Well, that looks like it'll be alright. I'll just go do it on the front one, the other side, then I'll come back and move it back. Right, this is the first of the back ones. Ooh, that's close. So that'll come up 12 mil. Gonna be close here. Very close. You see, it's a shame I couldn't wind them up. This is probably the best position I can put the camera in, really, for you to get a shot of it when it comes up. We're down at pretty much floor level. About 3 inches from the top of the roof of the car. From what you can see here or not, I don't know. We're looking at this. Get top. Oh, yeah, it's lifted exactly as I expected. Seem to have body clearance okay. Pull that off the camera out. A little bit wobbly. Can you see it's not touching the fiberglass, it's on the steel plate, which is, when I've seen other people using a 2-post car lift on a TVR, that is where they lift them, but with the pads. Gap between the body and that arm, which is what I was concerned about, is sorted. Gone out of focus, but never mind. And that one's the same. It's a shame not to make these shorter. The car, as I say, is a little bit lower. So something I was going to check, one of the first things I was going to check when I got it back up in the air were these wheel sizes, because it's got 245 tyres on the back, 45 ZR16, if you can read that. No, this focuses done west, there you go. And that, according to the book, is not correct. So why? Now it says that there's rims on the back. I'm sure it said was 7.5s. I go look, 7.5J, V16 H2. So they are 7.5s. What about front? 7.5J, 16 H2. So it's got the same wheels on the back as it has on the front. However, the back tyres are a 225. And they're 225 45 16, Now then. And they're 245, 45, 16. Right, so technically the rate should be slightly higher because there's an aspect ratio of 245 mil in it, 45% of. That's interesting because it is actually lower at the back, which is fantastic, but just not right for a TVR. You see, you put them on and it's pressing on the body as well as the chassis, so it's not the ultimate. I mean, the only other thing I could do, let's get a torch, is to make some more that wrap around that tube. Let me get sat on my little seat and I can see what you can see. We can look at the back, we don't have to go to the front. Yeah, alternative, as opposed to that, pressing on that steel plate, which, you know, some people might be concerned that that'd bend that plate. I need to get some proper wax oil because that is rusty there. I need to get some wax oil. Would be to sit it on there. To be honest with you, looking at that on there, that's where somebody else has had it on a lift. Can't see any marks there. Probably MOT garage, but I could make some of those that have got a U in them that would sit over those tubes there. Would it make any difference? I mean, the first time I jacked it up here on the inboard so I could have a look at those outriggers. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff to come, guys. If you're watching this, please stay tuned, subscribe, and then every time I do a video you'll see it, it'll come up and you can either dismiss it or watch it. If you've got a TVR, I'm sure it'd be of some interest to you, and you know, most TVRs are pretty much like this underneath. I do like those bottom wishbones, they're a lot better, nicer than what I imagined them to be. The handbrake's very tight. I'm also led to believe that, and it could be those that are seized, that you, on a TVR Chimera and Griffith, you don't want 3 clicks. You need at least 4 clicks for your handbrake, and this is 2. And it rolls at 2, it doesn't hold, and then you get hold of it and really pull hard on it, and you get a 3rd click, and then it holds great. To get it off, you have to use 2 hands to get the button back in. It's not right. Oh, there's a split bush there, look. What's that for? Exhaust. It's fastened to exhaust. It's split. Not for concern at the moment. They're at a funny angle, but I guess that's how they are. Really, anti-roll bar wants to come off and be sandblasted. You know, I buy a little blast cabinet, I haven't really got room for one. And I guess at some point these are going to need rebushing, all these bottom wishbone. In fact, it probably all needs rebushing, a lot. But we've got all winter to do it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've got a TVR, you've got any interest, there'll be plenty of stuff using 2-post lift and other jobs. Seat to come out, new bonnet pull cable to put in, maybe new carpets, don't know about that yet. All sorts. Tidy engine bay up, there's lots of work, and all 4 wheels are going to come off at some point, so I can take them shockers off and have a good look and rummage around. Not happy about this. See how out of shape they are? All scraped. That what guy that delivered it. A bit scratched under now. No damage, it's just scratched. It's scuffed on something. Probably the same guy, because it looks fairly new. That one's not as bad. If you can see the paint, no you can't. Paint works terrible. It's all like God knows what they've done, but they've made a mess of it. Most of it's underneath, so it doesn't matter. for now. Thanks for watching, guys.